Hey, so I'm back with my second video, and as I stated in my first video that I would be providing a weekly update on the experiences of the mental health therapists during COVID-19. So, in case I didn't mention in my first video, I am a mental health therapist, and I have been in this profession for 20 this will be my 20th year practicing in the field. And I have never seen anything as devastating as COVID-19. And I distinctively remember Katrina. I actually used to live in New Orleans. I lived in New Orleans for 7 years. By the time Katrina took place, I was not living in New Orleans, but I was deeply impacted by Katrina. So affected that I went down afterwards to do some community service down in the city with Habitat for Humanity. And even that devastation was like nothing I had ever seen in my lifetime. And here I am today at 43, and I am living through my first pandemic. I hope first and last. And as a clinician, I knew that during this time, clients would begin to feel higher rates of anxiety and depression. And for some of those who have been social isolating alone, that would start impacting them. And so I kind of expected all of those things to be happening as it related to my clients. And like most helping professionals, you kind of forget about yourself because you're always worried about helping other people and how to take care of other people. And so in the midst of kind of doing those things, you just forget about yourself. And so my purpose in really creating this video weekly is for me to kind of do a self-check-in for myself, so that I don't get lost in COVID-19 and how it's impacting everyone else and not be aware of how it's impacting me personally and professionally. And so last week was actually the first week where it became personal for me, where I actually became aware of two individuals, family members, who tested positive for COVID-19. And unfortunately, one individual passed away last week. And so that was the first person I personally knew who had it and who unfortunately didn't survive COVID-19. The other individual is still in the hospital. And so it's real. Obviously, I knew that COVID-19 was real from day one. I was never one of the individuals who thought, oh, this is just going to kind of blow away when the heat comes. I knew that we would be in for the long haul dealing with this virus. I don't think I was fully aware of how quickly it would take lives, even though we kind of saw some of that early on. And we watched Italy and how it took its toll on Italy, and really just hoping it wouldn't impact us the same way. And unfortunately it has. And so I think this week what became more concerning for me personally was that they began to put out the demographics of the individuals who have been affected with COVID-19, as far as those who have tested positive and those who have lost their lives to COVID-19. And the unfortunate part is that half of the population of these individuals look like me. And that became even more personal, that as a whole, African Americans are dying at alarming rates, that we make up 50% almost of the death rates for individuals with COVID-19. And so that's very disheartening. And so those are the ways in which this whole pandemic has now become more personal for me. I want to make sure that I do my part in expressing to those who still may think that this isn't serious, that this isn't real, that they can't contract the virus, that it is, and really encourage them to do better and to actually take it seriously. And so I have had the opportunity to participate in some online platforms where we have been talking about COVID-19, Black America, and just COVID-19 in general. And so I think that's really been helpful, at least for me personally. I feel like being able to talk about it and to tell people maybe about information that they did not know about COVID-19 and ways to protect themselves. For example, just today, I was on the King Charles Topic of the Week show, and his topic was on COVID-19 and Black America. And so we talked a lot about what do you do to protect yourself? Why has it impacted the Black community? Why is it hitting the Black community so hard? And what I came away from was a lot of people gave really good information and resources about trying to stay healthy. And so the virus attacks the lungs, but in order to do that, it weakens the immune system. And so part of staying healthy is to do things to build up your immune system. So individuals have been encouraged by medical professionals to take extra vitamin C, vitamin D, turmeric, all of these things that help build the immune system. And if you were taking those things before, then obviously taking more of it helps to boost the immune system. And so I have totally become a news junkie, and in my head I'm thinking, when did that happen? But in light of recent events, I try to stay connected as much as possible to find out. And obviously you never know what's true and what isn't, but I just kind of want to know what they're putting out there. And one of the newscasters that I watch on CNN, he contracted the virus, and he continued to film his show daily. And he talked about his process of going through it. And then unfortunately his wife contracted it, and also their son. And so one of the things that they talked about was part of their regimen was taking 6,000 milligrams of vitamin C. And so I was thinking, here I am taking 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C, think I'm doing good. And they're taking 6,000 milligrams daily of vitamin C. Now, mind you, this is individuals who have tested positive for COVID-19, but that's part of their regimen to boost their immune system so that they can get past the virus. And so that's just something that I've been thinking about lately, is just how can I take better care of myself, because even though I'm not an essential worker, whereas I am leaving my house to go to work, I'm still working. And so I'm still providing services to clients. I'm still having sessions, and it's important for me. I feel like it's important for me to be healthy so that I can continue to provide those services for them. And so in the midst of everything, I have changed a lot in my day-to-day routines. And so I used to cook, but I had kind of gotten away from it because I told myself I was just too busy, which just wasn't true, but I did. And so I have definitely gotten back into daily cooking and trying to cook meals that are a whole lot healthier for me. One of the major decisions that I just made this past week was to start working out. And so in the midst of COVID-19, I am really going to probably in my head start calling it COVID-15, because those are the 15 pounds that I've picked up in the last month and a half. And so if anybody has ever lost weight, I just lost the weight, and then it took me forever, like months, to get the weight off. In less than a month and a half, I picked up the weight again, plus some. So that was concerning for me, that in a month and a half, I picked up 15 pounds. And if I continued to do what I was going to do, I would probably pick up another 15 pounds. So I didn't like that. So I needed to do something different. And so that's what I am now forcing myself to do, because this is all about creating a new normal. And I want my new normal to be a healthier one that I had before. So I will be working out virtually with a personal trainer, Shonda Amy. She's awesome. Just in case you guys are looking for a personal trainer, you can go to her Facebook, Shonda Amy. She's a beast. I mean, complete beast. And so I'm adding that in. This week will be my first week. And so I'm looking forward to that, because I have a full gym and I don't use it for nothing. And it's pretty sad, because I don't have an excuse. Like, I can't be like, oh, the gym is closed and I can't go work out. Oh, the parks are closed, I can't go walk. Like, full gym, everything. Bike, treadmill, workout equipment, weights, ball, everything. You name it, I have it. And I don't use it. And so COVID-19 has made me become more aware of how serious my overall health is. And again, the numbers are devastating, that 50% of this 50,000 current death rate are African Americans. And they're us, or people that look like me, because of just in some cases, bad health, pre-existing conditions, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, things that typically run in our families. I know it runs in mine. And so I need to really be proactive and try to put some things in place to prevent some things from happening. And as I stated, I'm 43. And so if I was 20, I would probably be having a different conversation with myself. Even if I was in my 30s right now, I would be having a different conversation with myself. But at 43, soon to be 44, and less than a month, my goal is to do some things differently. And so in my videos, hopefully I'll talk about my weight loss journey and what things I've done differently there. And hopefully I'll start seeing some results. I'll start feeling better, because, oh my goodness, my knees hurt. Like, if you're under 40, if you're under 35, you won't understand this, because I didn't understand this. But I could get up, and I used to run in my 20s and early 30s. Me and my dog, just running miles, no problem. Last year, I woke up and I couldn't get out of bed. Like, no joke. I couldn't move. And my knees were like on fire. And I was like, what is wrong? And I thought that I did something. I hurt them. Nothing. I hadn't done any of those things. And I realized that what had changed was my eating habits. I had started eating a whole lot more red meat that I had gotten away from. And because I was eating the red meat, it changed my body and how I felt. My knees hurt. I couldn't get up in the morning and just get out the bed, things you take for granted when you're not in your 40s. I had to sit up and then just wait and kind of pause, like, oh, okay, and then get out the bed. And then also my hands were hurting. And so I do a lot of typing on the computers every day. And so I thought it must be carpal tunnel. I got to have carpal tunnel. And so I went to my doctor, and she did the test. She took my blood work. And so I didn't have any problems with my knees, because I was like, I must have broke something, hit something, pulled a ligament. Something is wrong. And nothing. Like, my blood work checked out fine. I didn't have any torn ligaments in my knees, my hands. I didn't have carpal tunnel. And what she asked me was about my eating and had that changed. And I was like, yeah. And she told me to stop it and to change it back. And so I cut out the red meat, stopped eating. Oh yeah, I started eating red meat and carbs, like lots of bread. And she was like, cut it out. And so I went back to cutting out the red meat and cutting out the carbs, and my knees stopped hurting and my hands stopped hurting. I mean, my hands were hurting so bad that I couldn't turn the doorknob with one hand to open it. I had to use two hands to turn the doorknob. Like, that's how much pain I had in my hands. And it was food related. And I was like, this has never happened to me. But then obviously, as I'm talking to my doctor, she's like, because you wasn't in your 40s then either. And I was like, this is real. Like, this stuff about aging is real. And so during these times, that's what I want to focus on. Despite having to really change my entire lifestyle surrounding COVID-19 and taking care of myself, trying to help other people take care of themselves, I need to do that first. So Tuesday is my first day of workout, and I am looking forward to it and not looking forward to it all at the same time. But I got to start somewhere. And so this is me starting. And I don't anticipate that it will be easy because I'm a foodie and I love bread and I love carbs and I love all those things that you're not supposed to love. And I like eating it. And so I can't, because my body won't allow me to do that anymore. And age doesn't allow me to do that anymore. And I got to stop it, and I have to be better, and it's a choice, and I'm making the choice to be a healthier person so that I could be here a whole lot longer to continue to do the things that I do as a mental health clinician. So that's my update for this week during COVID-19, and stay tuned for next week as I tell you about my first week of working out and kind of hopefully me being in a better place, or maybe not being in a better place. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. More videos are coming. And if you don't know, I host the show on Blog Talk called Dr. Guy's Gumbo Talk. And it comes on Sundays at 4 p.m. And we talk about everything. So there's nothing off limits that we won't talk about. So if you haven't had an opportunity to catch it, make sure you do subscribe to my channel. If you haven't caught the old shows, those are listed for you. Some of those are listed for you. More are coming. And if you haven't already, follow me on Facebook at Tanisha Guy and Instagram at Dr. Tanisha Guy. So thanks for watching the video. Oh, don't forget, you guys, be safe, wear your mask. Can't say that enough. I'll probably be saying that in every video for a couple weeks, heck, maybe even months. But yeah, most important, if you go out the house, keep a mask on, social distance. And if you don't have to leave the house, just don't.